At the reading of the will, my cousin got the lake house and I got a rusted toolbox the lawyer had to lift with 2 hands, and my aunt actually clapped a hand over her mouth so she wouldn't laugh out loud. There were 4 of us grandkids in that office. My grandfather had been a quiet man, a machinist his whole life, hands like cracked leather. The lawyer went through it slow. My cousin Dana got the lake house, the one we all grew up swimming at. My cousin Marcus got the investment account, and when the lawyer read the figure, Marcus just exhaled and said, "Wow," under his breath like the air left him. My cousin Priya got the cars, including the old Mustang Grandpa restored over 15 winters. Then the lawyer looked at me, bent down, and hauled a battered green toolbox onto the table. Paint chipped, latch held shut with a twist of wire. He said he wanted you to have this and he was clear it was the only thing. The only thing. He underlined it with his voice. I opened it right there because I assumed there'd be a deed folded inside, or cash, or anything. There were tools, wrenches, a level, a coffee can of screws, and taped to the lid, a note in his blocky print. "You'll remember, don't quit on it." That was the whole inheritance. Marcus looked into the box, then looked away and rubbed his neck. Dana said, "Ah, that's actually kinda sweet," in the voice you use for a kid's drawing. Here's what none of them knew. I was the one who spent Sundays in that garage with him. I learned to change my own oil at 12, sweating next to him while he hummed off key. The others showed up for cake, and he left me a box of wrenches. I didn't touch it for almost 2 weeks. It sat by my back door and I stepped around it like roadkill. I kept telling myself he'd gotten foggy near the end, that he didn't mean anything by it. Then one night I couldn't sleep and I started actually looking at the tools. They were organized wrong. Grandpa was meticulous, everything had its slot, always. But these were jumbled, deliberately, and one wrench was wrapped in a shop rag for no reason. Under the rag was a small brass key and a torn corner of paper with a number written on it. Unit 9, I knew exactly where. The storage place by the highway he used to rent for the projects. I'd helped him carry stuff there a dozen times as a kid. I drove out at dawn feeling like I'd lost my mind. The manager remembered him, said the old guy had paid 2 years ahead in cash and told him somebody would come for it eventually. The key worked. I rolled up the door and stood there in the cold, breathing hard. It wasn't money piled up, it was his life's work. A half-finished engine block on a stand, the one he never showed anyone, shelves of labeled parts. And in the corner, under a tarp, a 1968 motorcycle, completely restored, gleaming, with a sticky note on the tank. "Started this the year you were born. Finish what you ride." There was a small steel cash box bolted under the workbench. The lock was a 4-digit combination. I tried the day he taught me to ride. The date was scratched into the inside of my old helmet, a number nobody else alive would know. It clicked. Inside were savings bonds he'd been buying in my name since I was a baby, and the title to the storage unit's land, which he'd quietly bought outright. The last note was folded under the bonds. It said, "They got the things people can see. You got the things I made with my hands. You're the only one who ever watched how." I sat on a paint bucket in that unit until my legs went numb. Dana has the lake house. Marcus has the account. Priya has the Mustang. I have a motorcycle he built across 30 years, a workbench that smells like him, and the only thing he actually wanted passed down, the proof that I was the one who stayed in the garage. What's the most ordinary looking thing someone left you that turned out to mean everything?